Dew Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. Our game today, part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic. And we've got a great matchup to wrap up the regular season in the Big 12. Number 15, Oklahoma on Senior Day at home against 9th-ranked Kansas. This Big 12 conference, which has been so rugged all year long. Kansas on Tuesday with a win against West Virginia. Locked up the title all to themselves with several other teams bunched closely behind. Hi, everybody. Dave Fleming alongside Fran Fraschilla. We mentioned how balanced, how deep this Big 12 has been. It's reason to celebrate another championship, 11 in a row in this league for the Jayhawks.
There's no question, Dave. This is a celebration today of the end of a great season in the Big 12 from top to bottom. But Kansas, once again, based on an incredible coaching job by Bill Self, those great fans at Allen Fieldhouse, they win it again. But a lot of balance.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy, and part of that is because they've been banged up, particularly here at the end of the year. And, Fran, they will be without a guy who could be Big 12 Player of the Year, Perry Ellis.
No question. And we talked to Bill Self last night. He thought that Perry would be the Player of the Year. But, listen, he's going to be, it's a precautionary measure. He should be back Thursday for the opening round of the Big 12. This will give Bill Self some other players opportunities to play well.
Yeah, so it's big news for Jayhawks fans who are wondering about the status of Ellis. They are optimistic that he'll play in Kansas City. But, Fran, for Oklahoma, the task will not be easy for the Jayhawks because Oklahoma's been a very good team all year, particularly in this building. They are so tough.
Well, they only got one loss, and they play extremely well offensively. This is a team that's 5 starters collectively shoot over 50% from the field. And, of course, you start with Buddy Hield, the senior Tayshaun Thomas, gives you an inside presence, and then one of the most improved players in the Big 12, Isaiah Cousins, in the backcourt with Buddy Hield.
Well, starting lineups as we're just about ready to go for the Jayhawks. Mason, and the big news, good news for Kansas fans. Wayne Selden will make the start. His ankle's not been 100%. Oubre Landon Lucas gets the start with no Ellis, and Jamari Traylor coming off a heck of a game against the Mountaineers. Meanwhile, for the Sooners, their starting 5 stacks up against just about anybody's. Woodard, Cousins, Hield, Spangler, and Tayshaun Thomas. And it's rocking here inside the Noble Center. The Jayhawks will have the ball first.
Yeah, you mentioned Wayne Selden. He didn't want anybody to Wally Pip him. He's in his 56th start in a row as a Kansas Jayhawk. And they need a good offensive game from Wayne Selden today.
Well, and you wonder, okay, what's on the line for the Jayhawks? They've already clinched the title outright. Well, I think it's evidence that they're not just here to show up. They want to win this game, the fact that Selden's out there.
Let me tell you something. I've known Bill Self a very long time. He wants to win this game.
Frank Mason got a good look, tapped his own miss in.
Kansas has a very, very good group of players out there, all highly recruited. They will show up and play. Oklahoma, I think, has a little bit more pressure on them, coming off a really tough loss on Monday night at Iowa State.
Had a huge lead in the second half. If they had hung on to that lead, today would be a chance to share the Big 12 title. So we are interested to see how the Sooners bounce back from that. Here's Buddy Hield, another candidate for Conference Player of the Year. An early whistle and a foul against the Jayhawks. Now the head coach of Oklahoma, his 4th year here, Lon Kruger, one of the greats in the game. But I think Lon and everybody around this program feel like this is his best Sooners team.
Well, it's the 4th year, you're right. And not only is it the best Sooner team, what a great atmosphere today. The students are out. And he's really built basketball back at Oklahoma.
Kelly Oubre, he's going to have a big role today and very aggressively attacking, drawing the foul. The freshman, Fran, is really talented.
You know, he's really come on. He's had peaks and valleys this year, but you just love the way he's played, particularly in Big 12 play, averaging over 10 a game. I feel bad for Kansas. They only have 2 McDonald's All-Americans out there.
Yeah, they're playing real short-handed today. Oubre makes the first free throw. You got a quick glimpse at the numbers and how Oubre has come on. They need more of him because, look, there's Perry Ellis sitting next to Perry Ellis. Brandon Green has been suspended, not hurt, but he is not going to play here today. So no Cliff Alexander, he won't play. No Perry Ellis, and Brandon Green also won't be out there. There's Cousins with the jump shot on the first 3 for Oklahoma.
Here's what's amazing. He and Hield shoot over 50% from 3 in this building, and it's understandable. Both are gym rats, live in this place.
Selden on the move. Oubre finds Selden. Clean look. Rebound Cousins. Oklahoma likes to play fast. They like to get out in transition.
Kansas doesn't mind running either, especially the way Frank Mason's played this year. There it goes.
Yeah, Mason is such an aggressive player. Here's Cousins.
Watch
on
out
the
for Selden.
And Selden altered that shot, but Cousins laid it in.
We've seen this year Wayne Selden track those kind of plays down and make great plays, but Cousins slipped it through him.
He's got all 5 for the Sooners.
I thought Iowa State in the second half did a great job of spreading Oklahoma out and really just beating them off the dribble. That's something I'm sure Bill Self will try to exploit today.
Lucas with position inside, but wasn't really looking to shoot it. A nice play by Woodard. Woodard against Selden. Lost the ball. Heel draws it down, makes the shot.
We talked about Selden's hustle, and he causes this pass. You see the great effort by Selden. Woodard gets rid of it, and then Buddy Hield doing what Buddy Hield's done all season. Great look by Woodard because of the hustle of Wayne Selden.
A chance for the three-point play. Foul was called against Oubre. Selden working in transition defense. The top scorer in the Big 12.
Buddy Hield had 26 in that game in Norman when Oklahoma stormed all the way back from a 20-point deficit, took the lead, and then Kansas closed them out down the stretch.
Yeah, one of several times this year where the Jayhawks got challenged at home. Selden's two-pointer. Nice rebound by Lucas, but he missed the close-in look, tapped his own miss back in.
That's what you saw. Landon Lucas play terrific against West Virginia Tuesday night. He's a redshirt sophomore, 3rd year in the program.
Good look from Cousins to the senior Tayshaun.
One thing Oklahoma can do, and you mentioned it, especially in here, they have weapons offensively, really at all 5 positions.
It's not a power team. It's not an overly physical team. Oklahoma is an extremely skilled team. Devontae Graham off the bench, kind of a wild shot. The big man Spangler wanted to start the break, passed it out of bounds.
Bill Self's done this year, and he'll have to do it a lot today, play the 2 point guards. If I were Frank Mason, I would really try to be aggressive offensively.
I think that's when he's at his best.
Yeah.
And he does create for others, but he is so good at attacking the rim. Amari Trailer, not a good look. Cousins saw that one coming.
Some bad decisions early by Kansas.
Thomas. Pretty nice move.
Good help, good rotation, and he just snuck that ball through. Oh, good pass.
Great pass.
Yep. Really good look by Landon Lucas.
Spangler running the floor, draws the foul.
Well, Tayshaun Thomas, it's senior day here in Norman. The transfer from Houston, trying to leave his impact on his short career right here in Memorial Noble Center.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots and in part by Phillips 66, proud to be here, and Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2015 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award.
For the Kansas Jayhawks, UCLA, 13 consecutive conference titles back in the John Wooden era. Mark Few and what they did and continue to do at Gonzaga, but now 11 straight Big 12 titles for Bill Self and the Jayhawks. And when you consider not just this year, but over those seasons, all the great talent, the good teams that Kansas has had to compete against, 11 in a row is amazing.
It is amazing in a league that has sent teams on to the Final Four like Oklahoma State in 04. Now remember, they've shared it 4 different times, which doesn't take away from the brilliance. You know what's amazing to me? How about this stat? 15 times in his last 17 years, he's won a conference title at places like Tulsa and Illinois and now Kansas. And he told us last night, we spent a lot of time with them after they were done with their film session, that this was the toughest one yet because the league from top to bottom has been so good.
So good.
You know, it's not like they go undefeated every year in the league. You know, they've got 4 losses already. And, you know, this competition this year particularly, I saw some Big Ten teams the other night. Good, Wisconsin's terrific. But, this league's been a grind.
Well, Minnesota, I mean, that's been a sort of a middle-of-the-road Big Ten team. Hunter Mickelson off the bench had a good look and missed the shot for the Jayhawks. I mean, Minnesota, they would have a hard time finishing outside the bottom 2, I think, in this league.
TCU has shown themselves to be very good outside the league and very competitive in the league. Lattin's in now, the young guy.
The freshman Kadeem Lattin to Cousins, who hits a 3 so pure.
Yeah. And you know, this guy shot 25% as a freshman. You know, I go back to what I talked about. You know, if you're a player, you're a freshman, you're not playing as much, just live in the gym. Cousins and Hield have done that. Neither guy was close to being a McDonald's All-American.
Mason over to Wayne Selden. The Jayhawks are going to have to score to keep up with the Sooners here today. That's a tough contested 2. Rebound for Kadeem Lattin, the freshman. Booker also in off the bench for Oklahoma. Cousins, that was not a good pass, and Hield will just take the backcourt violation. So a turnover. Well, some big names part of tomorrow on ABC NBA action. NBA countdown kicks off at 12:30 Eastern. You got the Bulls with Noah against Parker and all the great stars in San Antonio. 3:30 Eastern, it's Clippers Warriors, which has turned into an incredible rivalry out in the Pacific.
Yeah, well, you know, Kansas reminds me of the Spurs a little bit when Pop sits down, you know, Ginobili and Parker and the big fella.
They're more good players.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys like Corey Joseph. That's why I think going into the Big 12 tournament, this is really healthy for Kansas.
Hield, runner, no good. Well, Bill Self, all the great work he's done, not happy right now, calls a timeout. In here in Norman, and the Sooners just got a highlight play from their freshman from Houston, Kadeem Lattin. Pretty impressive.
Watch how they push the ball on the break. And Lattin, this is what you want your big guys to do. Just run rim to rim. And right now, they're not going to run a lot of plays for the big guy. But, Dave, you and I have seen this guy all season long. Plays with a lot of energy at both ends. He can block some shots, can rebound, and he's just pretty much waiting his turn as Tayshaun Thomas graduates.
Yeah, quietly, I think he's a fairly important player for Oklahoma. I mean, it's amazing. He had not scored in 6 games until that basket. You watch him do that and you think, how is that possible? That's just not his role on this team.
Well, exactly. And, you know, if there's a weakness for Oklahoma as they head into the Big 12 tournament and beyond, they're not a physical team up front. Even though they have Spangler and Thomas, there's not a lot of physical depth up front.
And you might not call the freshman Lattin real physical, but very athletic. And I think in a certain matchup in the tournament, you could get some really important minutes from him.
There's no question. And they have fed him minutes all year.
That foul was against Jordan Woodard, their sophomore point guard, who plays most of the minutes for Oklahoma. That's his second. So he goes to the bench. There's Lattin. Nice defensive play. Some of that athleticism we were just talking about. Booker steps into the 3, way off the mark. Thomas, offensive rebound, but lost it out of bounds.
Booker has no conscience, and I mean that in a good way. He comes off the bench with one role. When he's open, shoot the 3. He had a broken wrist early, Dave, slow start, but he's had some big moments for Oklahoma this season.
Yeah, they needed a couple of those shots on Monday night in Ames to go down. He did not hit a 3 against Iowa State.
Did make 7 of 8 from the line, but you're right, they held him in check. Nice back cut right there.
Mikhailuk with the lay-in.
This is good for Mikhailuk, the young man from the Ukraine who should see some minutes today.
He's another really talented player. He is 17 years old still.
Yes, well, we saw him a lot in international play. He's one of the best 17-year-olds in the world.
He just hadn't played much for the Jayhawks, but you think about that, it's the end of his freshman year, and he still isn't 18 years old.
Maybe a junior in high school in a lot of schools in the United States in high school.
Thomas.
Tough shot.
Did not get the friendly roll, and Mikhailuk tracks down the loose ball. I think the Jayhawks are really hoping that Mikhailuk has enough patience to hang around in Lawrence, because they think he could be a real good player.
Oh, he will be. He played in the FIBA World Cup last year for Mike Fratello and the Ukraine, and he played a lot early for Kansas. 7 DNPs in the Big 12, but he's got a lot of talent.
Thomas, he got a good look and then just airballed it. That was ugly. Most of it's been pretty, though, for the Sooners. 11:52 to go in first half, and Oklahoma with the 7-point lead.
Let the celebration begin. Welcome to the big dance. They are going to the NCAA tournament. They're going dancing.
Well, championship week is upon us. We have 26 different conferences on our ESPN networks. There may not be one that'll be more competitive during championship week than the Big 12 if the tournament started right now. There's still some things to be decided, but look at even the first round games. You got Oklahoma State having to earn their way even into the quarterfinals. That's a team that spent a lot of time ranked. You got a Texas team seeded 8th, Brant. Yeah. They were in the top 5 at one point this year.
Isn't that amazing? And I'll just say this, now that we're at the end of the year, it's been the best league in college basketball from top to bottom because of the depth and really the numbers outside the league, Dave. 83% winning percentage is the best in 10 years. And oh, by the way, 61% against other power conferences. So when it's been all said and done, this has been the deepest league in college basketball and the best to this point.
I agree with you. Maybe not quite the powerhouse team at the top that we've seen in recent years in the Big 12, but the depth, the balance, and the quality overall has been really impressive. It's one of the few leagues that still does the pure double round robin. Everybody plays everybody else twice.
Yep. Some leagues you have to figure out whether you've played some of the better teams at the top of the league. Nice drive right there.
Yeah, Selden just didn't connect. Nice hustle by Traylor. And Devontae Graham will save the ball inbounds. Shot clock did reset.
Boy, Jamari Traylor, he had a great game against West Virginia.
He did. He played so hard once Ellis was out. There's Lucas using the glass.
See, how good is this for Landon Lucas, getting this many minutes? I'm telling you, this is like the Spurs. It's like watching Corey Joseph and Patty Mills and Matt Bonner out there right now.
Well, and you can envision a scenario. Okay, it's the second round of the NCAA tournament. A couple guys get in foul trouble, and you need Lucas. You need Traylor. Lucas challenges, blocks the shot, and it's out of bounds off of Oklahoma.
Now remember, Landon Lucas is in his 3rd season, but he's only a sophomore. Watch how he gets good deep position. He buries Spangler, catches with 2 in the lane, and then uses that 6'10" frame. Really well done.
No Perry Ellis, no Cliff Alexander, no Brandon Green today for the Jayhawks.
Mikhailuk was guarding Derrick Rose this summer. Now he's got Buddy Hield on him.
So he should be prepared,
I would say.
Shot clock now under 10. Over the top. That was a pass. It hit the rim, so the shot clock did reset. Mikhailuk may not have known it. Hield.
That's
3.
quick.
Way off the mark.
Yep. That one was quick. Too much attention. Mikhailuk was right near him.
Spangler with the block shot out of bounds. Jayhawks keep it. Hunter Mickelson, another guy. I mean, we keep bringing up that West Virginia game, but Kansas was down big. Nothing was going right. They lose Ellis in the course of the game. Alexander didn't play that night as well. And Mickelson gave Bill Self some really quality minutes. Scored when Kansas's offense was just stagnant.
Sure, he was a former starter at Arkansas. Good shot blocker. Remember that game where they squeaked by TCU on the road? He and Landon Lucas were big in that game.
Pass from Mikhailuk. Nice hustle by Kadeem Lattin. He's made an impact since he came in off the bench.
The biggest part of Kadeem Lattin's career at Oklahoma will be the day after Oklahoma loses its last game. Because between now and next November, he has a chance to really develop and put some weight on, get some strength, because you see the athleticism is there. He's got a live body with energy.
You never know how it will play out, but you figure with Thomas gone, he and Spangler would be the starting front court at the beginning of next year. Shot clock winding down. Mason launches in and out. Lucas just blew the foul. He had a wide open look. And a foul against Kansas. Nicholson commits the personal, but Lucas needs to make that.
Yeah, he sure does. I mean, that's point blank right there for Landon Lucas. He'll wish he had that one back, but he managed to get himself deep in the lane. I like Kansas's defense has got Oklahoma stagnant a little bit the last 4 or 5 minutes.
One dribble for Spangler. Oubre back in off the bench.
See, this is where Oklahoma sometimes they just settle for jump shots. And they don't put the pressure on the opponent. Like, I would be driving it and posting it right now.
It's been almost 5 minutes since Oklahoma had a shot from the floor. Oubre didn't do a whole lot with that screen. Now challenges Lattin. Nicholson kept the ball alive. There's Oubre. Blocked by Spangler, but they call a foul.
Right now, Kansas dominating the offensive glass. Watch Kelly Oubre. Good drive. Watch his energy. Stays with it. I wouldn't call that a foul. That was a clean from behind, but good effort by Kelly Oubre. He deserved it because of his activity.
You wouldn't call it a foul? The 10,000 plus referees who are here today would not have called it a foul.
You know what I think's happened down the stretch, and I've been a fan of Big 12 officiating. These guys do so many games. I really think I've seen short fuses lately, quick technicals. You know, some errors in judgment. By and large, I think they've had a good year. But as you and I both know, you travel 7 days a week and then have to run 3.5 miles at a time. It's not easy.
Well, we saw nearly another offensive rebound there off the missed free throw. Oubre missed them both. Heel just not slowing down. He draws the foul. So now Buddy Hield will get himself to the free throw line. But he mentioned the quick fuse earlier this week. Huge game in Ames. These Sooners against Iowa State. Then an equally big game in Lawrence the next night, West Virginia, Kansas. And 2 technical calls, one in each of those games, profoundly impacted the results of those games.
Yeah, no question. And I'm not sure they. I think the one in Ames would not have been called in a 2-point game.
Yeah.
But based on the fact that it was 20-point game, looked like everything was going Oklahoma's way, that actually turned the game around. But Iowa State was phenomenal. I mean, you go on a 31-4 run. It's not 2 technical free throws.
No.
I can tell you that right now. That had more with the building and the energy of the Cyclones.
Hield made both free throws, back to a 7-point lead. Oubre spin move, but then missed the shot wildly. Kansas is getting close. Cousins tried to thread the needle. It goes out of bounds, apparently off Lattin.
That's not a pass that Kadeem Lattin is going to catch right now. Cousins trying to hit the home run ball. Lattin is about 6'9". Now watch how low he's got to get to try to catch this. There's no way a young big man on the move in traffic is going to catch that basketball. Unless he's got super glue.
Jayhawks not shooting the ball well. That's been the theme for them this last stretch in the Big 12, particularly from the outside. The shots have not been falling. Mason attacks.
Look at Nicholson.
Yeah, drawing a foul. Well, you're right. The offensive rebounding for the Jayhawks is keeping Kansas in this game.
Hey, that's how you got to do. You got to battle on the road, and you're getting your chance, Hunter Nicholson. Make it happen.
Thank you. Well, that would be a huge upset in the Valley, but that game, Fran, is so huge for Texas, their regular season finale. Joe Lunardi has them first 4 out with a win. They would be in the field as of right now.
Yep, exactly. And Texas's RPI and BPI are both pretty good. Their BPI is 28. But certainly the way they finished the season, they need to win a few games here today and maybe a couple in Kansas City. But how would you like to play Kansas if you're a Texas, if you're a 6 seed in the tournament and they're an 11 seed?
Yeah. Hey, you worked hard all year and now get a team with maybe a couple first-round picks on it and talent all across the board. I mean, Texas would be a dangerous, particularly the style of basketball. We saw them go toe-to-toe with Kansas last weekend at Allen Fieldhouse.
Oh, and you know, they've had some bad luck. They haven't shot the ball well, but you know, their defense is one of the best defenses in the country. I like what Kansas is doing right now. They have stymied, and they are absolutely locking up Oklahoma right now. Keep in mind, Jordan Woodard has 2 fouls, and we haven't seen him in a while, and the offense has bogged down. This is where sometimes I think a coach has to kind of by feel play a guy with 2.
Booker in the corner. Good from 3.
What do we say about him? Okay, green light. He's got the green light. As long as it's a rhythm shot, he never has to look over at the coaches.
So the 3-point shot has Oklahoma ahead in this game. Kansas 0 for 3. You go back over the 3 games previous to this and include today, they're 3 for their last 39 from 3. Wayne Zeldin just out of control.
This is a team that was leading the league in 3-point shooting. See, a good pass right there on his hands. That would have been a 3.
Hield couldn't get by Mason.
That's 2 good defenders out there, Mason and Zeldin.
Thomas backing in against Oubre, who's forced to guard in the post. Did a decent job.
But you know what? Not only did he do a good job, but Mickelson, you're seeing his length out there too.
He's a good shot blocker. What a screen by Traylor. Oubre, no good. Follows his own miss.
What I love about him is how quick a jumper he is. He's done that a couple times already.
Booker, quick release. Good again.
But I tell you, he knows his role.
It's the reason he's on the floor.
Yep. You talk about role players. Do your role and do it well.
Bill Self is going to use his second timeout of this first half. But Frank Booker, no conscience whatsoever, and the last 2 go down.
Well, you mentioned that he went 0 for 5 at Iowa State, but this is a guy, he's like a home run hitter. He's going to swing for the fences. He'll strike out some, but when he's on, this kid can really light it up. 17 at Texas Tech that bailed out the Sooners. Sophomore from Augusta, Georgia. Born in Reykjavik, Iceland. Father was a terrific player at Bowling Green. Played professionally over there. But a good, solid role player off the bench for Lon Kruger.
And he's got very detailed and well-groomed eyebrows. Tomorrow at SportsCenter. Well, a Cape Crusader emerged in Seattle. His name was Phoenix Jones. Hear the story behind Ben Fodor, an MMA fighter who has turned crime fighter. Very interesting story. Tomorrow morning, 11 Eastern on SportsCenter.
Those are great stories, aren't they?
Very cool.
Yep.
Oklahoma back up by 9.
Oh. This is a great opportunity for Oubre. He's had to be the kind of go-to guy today.
Nicholson down low. Graham from near the free throw line area. Lucas, a foul on the floor against Oklahoma. So I don't know if they'll officially credit him with an offensive rebound or not. But Kansas, the offensive rebounding is keeping the Jayhawks in the game. Fran, they have 1 basket in this game that wasn't the result of an offensive rebound.
That tells you a lot about Oklahoma as well. We talked about, you know, they've got 2 losses against a physical Kansas State team. They lost to a physical Wisconsin team. They lost to Washington when Robert Upshaw was playing. That's nearly a turnover.
Zeldin toward the basket, too strong. Spangler grabs a rare defensive rebound, and now Thomas, I think he hit his head coming down on the floor.
And he might have bumped into Buddy Hield as Buddy's holding his mouth.
Yeah, so that could be, it might have been the collision before the floor. And look, there's blood above the eyebrow.
Watch Hield now. Yep, they bang. Yep, you see it.
Yeah. Thomas is coming out of the game, and they'll work on him. That opened up a cut. The senior who has started every game of his career for 3 years at Houston, all season long for the Sooners. Put up some huge numbers. He's not going to get to 2,000 points, 1,000 career rebounds, but he's already over 1,700 points, over 1,000 career rebounds, over 250 career blocks. That's a lot of numbers for this kid.
Today was his 126th start. He grew up in Killeen, Texas. He actually went to the same high school that Baylor's Corey Jefferson did, although they were never teammates. He was a little bit younger.
Very different kind of players. So DJ Bennett, another senior off the bench for the first time. Healed on the attack. Buddy Hield.
You know what you love about that? They did a good job, Kansas, of chasing him off that three-point line. And he was able to use his size and soft touch. A little gamble right there.
Well, Kansas didn't make him pay. This is the biggest lead for Oklahoma. Mason hits the three. So there's one that goes down for the Jayhawks. They needed that.
Yeah, that's not unlike Frank Mason, although he struggled lately behind the arc. 38% all season.
Did some big shots for them from behind the arc. Bennett fouled from behind. That whistle against Graham of Kansas. So DJ Bennett getting a chance to play, the senior from Chicago. Spent a couple years in this program.
You know what I like about Oklahoma inbounds? There's a nice cut right there.
Bennett gets free, missed the shot, draws a foul.
Oklahoma huddles before they inbound, so you don't see their call. So when you see the alignment, you're not sure which of the various plays they can run because they don't give it away with hand signals. It's all in a huddle.
So that's a little subtle move, but it benefits the Sooners. Well, on senior day for Bennett, makes the first of 2 free throws.
DJ Bennett actually played well. As you see, Alex Brown, that's not going to take long. That did not take long. But DJ Bennett, actually, the junior college transfer, one of the 3 seniors, he played pretty well at Kansas in that great game on Big Monday.
He did, and it's funny because, I mean, that was a long time ago. You're talking about 10-plus games since then, and he just has not done much since then. I thought that could be like a breakout kind of game for him.
Right. They don't, you know, he's not big in their rotation. Good cut.
Lucas was fouled, and I think they're going to call that a shooting foul. Booker reached in.
A bunch of NBA scouts here today, as there usually are when Kansas plays. Oklahoma as well. Keeping a close eye on Kelly Oubre Jr. And there you see a bunch of the guys. Wes Wilcox from the Hawks up there in the background. They're having a great year. Another familiar face, Scott Brooks, coach of the Thunder.
Short ride from Oklahoma City down here to Norman. You see Thunder players come watch Sooners games from time to time. Every once in a while, Kevin Durant, particularly when Texas is in town, if he can get down here.
Remember, Oklahoma, no Jordan Woodard. Looks like they're going to keep him out of this rest of the first half with those 2 fouls.
And yet they have the 8-point lead. Spangler against Lucas. He's not really a back-to-the-basket kind of player, and he missed that shot. It goes out of bounds. Well, it is senior day here in Norman. They celebrated the 3 seniors, Thomas, DJ Bennett, James Frischilla. There's our proud dad out on midcourt before the game started.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66. Proud to be here. And Motel 6, the official economy lodging partner of Big 12 fans everywhere.
Yes, we look forward to that on one of the great days pre-tournament on the college basketball schedule. There's a lot on the line across the country.
Absolutely. Next week is what I call the extra credit part of the season. This has been the exam. Next week, teams have a chance to win a few more games in conference tournament play if they don't win the automatic qualifier as the tourney champ.
Well, one thing about this league, and I think it's true across the country, Mason had his shot rejected by Bennett. Here's Hield one-on-one with Oubre. Pretty good defense by the freshman. Ball goes out of bounds off of Kansas. Hield almost had his head stepped on.
I love Oubre. Watch what Oubre has done. This kid's energy level since about January 1 is through the roof. Now, this looks like a Buddy Hield N1, chance for a 3. And at the other end, Oubre just made a terrific play.
Oklahoma does get to keep it. Nice pass! Oh, what a dunk!
You like this kid coming off the bench and giving you some energy. That's good. Senior day for him. He's got the budding musical career going.
A really talented kid. Traylor got a little over anxious. He walked.
Remember what we talked about? They got this back screen earlier. Watch. Keep your eye on Bennett and see. You should know better, Kansas. When you're a big guy that starts on the three-point line, you're not going anywhere but to the basket. And they needed to smell that out. Second time, Kansas has been duped on that little back cut. Good pass by Spangler.
Yeah, and we're not talking about a guy who doesn't play big minutes. That's Jamari Traylor who got beat on that play, and he goes to the bench. Spangler had a great look.
I think Kansas's defense in the first half has been good. It's been their offense, and there's Graham, who is capable.
Yeah, he hits a 3, so that's 2 in a row for the Jayhawks from outside. That shot blocked by Mikhailuk, who then committed that sin. He saved it inbounds underneath.
And never do that.
Don't
exactly
do that.
Right. Yep. I don't know how they do it in the Ukraine, but just throw that ball out to midcourt, Svi.
I guarantee you Mike Fratello didn't teach him that.
I would agree. Oh, nice move.
Graham shifted to the left hand. Lucas follows.
You love everything that Lucas is doing today because he's done a great job on the glass.
So Lucas 7 points, 7 rebounds, 13 offensive rebounds for Kansas. That one goes out of bounds off of Bennett. He didn't agree. Oh. How about we take a look at this afternoon's Sonic Showdown. Booker and Cousins with the outside shooting. The shooting overall for the Jayhawks, Fran, has not been pretty.
Hasn't been pretty, but their defense has been rock solid, and they're staying in this game.
Yeah, I think the moments where Bill Self has been most upset, where those three-point shooters have been left alone, because you know who the good ones are on the Sooners side. Otherwise, the defense has been solid.
I like the 2 point guards together. Really gives them some creativity. Watch out.
Graham, I think he thought he was fouled. He follows his own miss and kicks it out to Mason. The 3 goes down.
How good was that from Devontae Graham? He followed his own shot, and once again, Oklahoma has just not done a good job on the offensive glass. You made a great point. Offensive rebounding is keeping Kansas in this ball game.
Booker, no good on the answer.
Went for the home run ball, right? He hit it to the warning track.
He will swing for the fences every time. Under a minute to go, and the Jayhawks, with all the things going wrong, are right in this game. Mickelson faced, didn't go down.
Remember Oklahoma, and that's going to be Lon Kruger's use it or lose it. They've played almost this whole half without Jordan Woodard, their starting point guard. Picked up 2 fouls. Lon Kruger conservatively keeping him out.
Well, they led 17-8 when he went to the bench, and for most of this first half, they played fine without him, but I think it has taken its toll.
You know, they played fine without him because they were up 8-10, but they never pulled away. Yep. Because they weren't able to get the easy looks they got with him out there.
I think it's a good point. And look, for those of you who are watching, sort of trying to project ahead, think about your brackets in a few days and how far can this Oklahoma's going to be a high-seeded team, a good team. How far can they go? 2 things would worry me. A physical matchup like you've been talking about, a team that can kill them on the glass.
Yep.
And then the lack of depth. I mean, if Buddy Hield gets in foul trouble, if Cousins, Woodard gets in foul trouble, they don't have depth on this team.
Correct. They go about 8 deep, and they don't really trust their bench. You know, like a lot of teams do. There's a nice pass right there. See, that's Mickelson. He did that at Arkansas.
Hield missed the 3. Mickelson goes way up for the defensive rebound and got fouled. My goodness. I mean, this is the 11th man on this team.
He came off the court on Tuesday night after the win, and Bill Self said to him, I really appreciate what you did. And Mickelson said to him, Coach, I can do this more. How about this?
So he'll shoot free throws, Fran. He blocked the shot, got the rebound, got fouled.
See, this is, we said this at the beginning. The positive for Kansas today, they would get some more down-the-line bench guys quality minutes.
You could see the smile on Bill Self's face after that play by Mickelson. He earns the second free throw. He is a good shooting big man. He's got a nice touch.
Well, he had 2 really good years.
Even he's smiling.
Yep.
No Perry Ellis today, no Brandon Green, no Cliff Alexander. So it's not the familiar cast for the Jayhawks, and yet look at the score. And Wayne Selden is clearly compromised. I mean, Wayne he's toughing it out. He's playing today on a very bad ankle, but he has not played well.
Well, you're talking about a championship team with a championship DNA.
Oklahoma, I mean, Cousins acting like he's on the attack. They want to let this clock go down.
Both teams in the bonus, not the double bonus yet. So Mikhailuk, I should say, needs to be a little careful.
Crossover by Cousins, got free, missed the shot, and Kansas has the ball. Graham had it poked out of bounds. 1.7 seconds.
All right, Bill Self, what do you got in your bag of tricks right here?
Hey, a chance to practice this kind of play.
He's got him.
Yeah,
He's got him.
They found Selden, got a good look, and it almost went. Now that would have been something. If that had gone down, Kansas would have taken a lead to the locker room. Pretty impressive for the Jayhawks. The offensive rebounding, the second chance points, keeping Kansas in this game. So at halftime on Senior Day, Oklahoma leads 32-30. Now we'll send you to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. It's the Mazda halftime report. Welcome back to Saturday Showcase, presented by 5 Hour Energy. Our game here this afternoon, part of ESPN's Journey to the Tourney, presented by Sonic. As we get ready for the start of the second half, Oklahoma at home on Senior Day with a 2-point lead over number 9 Kansas. Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla with you. The Jayhawks and the Sooners. Oklahoma got off to a quick start, Fran, and especially got out in transition in this one.
And that's their game, particularly at home. It was effective early. They got that double-digit lead, no question about it. And then Kansas, you got to love what they did. They pounded the offensive glass, and they got 15-second chance points off those 14 offensive rebounds. Jordan Woodard back with 2 fouls. He missed most of that first half. And Buddy Hield's been quiet.
Yeah, Hield trying to get going here in the second half. That was a tough contested shot. It goes out of bounds off the Jayhawks. Oklahoma will keep it. Our competitive edge presented by Principal Financial Group. What'd you just circle?
Offensive rebounds. Gave Kansas a chance to stay within striking distance, and now if they make some shots, they're going to be very, very dangerous.
Oklahoma making shots.
I was thinking about Woodard at halftime. If you play him and he picks up his 3rd foul, but you still have a 12, 14-point lead, is that worth not playing him with 2 and only having a 2-point lead? Something to think about. Look at this guy.
Yeah, a nice move by Lucas.
Yeah, right now he is toying with Oklahoma inside. Lucas heading towards a double-double.
Yeah, he's tied his career high now scoring-wise. He's got a career high rebounding in this game. Cousins misses the shot. And there's another rebound for Lucas.
Oklahoma's been jump shots. Kansas has pounded the glass, scored in the lane.
Very different styles.
And usually the team that pounds it in the glass, in the lane, hits the glass, team that wins the game.
Well, that's really been the cornerstone of Bill Self's coaching career. That's what he coaches. Frank Mason, wide right.
Same place that who was wide right before?
Tayshaun Thomas.
Tayshaun Thomas, yeah.
Maybe the court's a little uneven. Bill Self can't believe that ugly miss. Oklahoma still has the ball. Up 2, still has the lead. Thomas.
That's good scouting report defense. They smelled that ISO out, and Wayne Selden switched right on to Thomas.
Good move, and Thomas scores.
See, I think if you're Oklahoma now, Big 12 tournament, NCAA tournament, I think this guy's got to touch the ball more. He was a 15-9 guy at Houston for 3 years. Every now and then they treat him like Casper the Ghost.
And he's a capable passer, too. So if we get the ball in his hands, he can make some things happen. Oubre, he's just been off. Shooting the ball. Hield behind the back, dribbling. Hield finds Thomas, who fumbled it on the way up and draws the foul.
Tayshaun Thomas, take a look now. Watch the spin move in the lane. Goes body to body on Jamari Traylor. Good, strong finish. And you've got to take the ball at that length inside.
Did not have a great game against the Jayhawks at Fog Allen. You can see the bandage. They fixed that cut up above his left eye. He collided with his teammate, but he healed. Made them both.
One thing we know about Oklahoma in this building, we've seen it many times. They are a team that can go on runs, but they're not going to get that run if they don't do a better job on the glass.
Mason down the lane, but was cut off. There's Jamari Traylor with the left hand.
Strong move. See, now on the other hand, they're taking it right at Oklahoma.
And I think you're right. Woodard almost had it stolen away. It's almost like they're taking a page out of Iowa State from Monday night, spreading things out.
All right, that's a great point. Freddie Hoiberg, he stopped running offense.
Yeah.
And they just put the ball in the hands of Niang and Monte Morris.
Cousins, good move to find Thomas.
Now, same thing. You can't guard the dribble. Spread the floor, keep attacking.
Well, better things are happening for Oklahoma when they get Tayshaun Thomas the ball.
And get into the lane. Same thing.
Mason Runner.
Hey, now what you have right now is two teams who are relentless in getting to the rim.
Heels trying to get there. Spangler tip in.
Hield got bumped on that play. Spangler there to clean it up.
That's a fairly rare offensive rebound for the Sooners. It's been Kansas's game so far today.
Oh, good pass inside. Oh, nice pass.
Traylor with the lay-in from Selden.
It all started with Landon Lucas. He looked opposite. Selden to Traylor. Good hockey assist right there by Landon Lucas.
Jayhawks are hanging around. No Perry Ellis, no Cliff Alexander, no Brandon Green. Yield. That shot was altered by Oubre. More good defense by the freshman. That was a flop. They didn't call it, and Traylor lays it in.
No question. Good no call. Let it go. Oubre is a sticky defender. He is giving Cousins trouble.
Yeah, he's definitely got the tools. Thomas, strong move. Will shoot free throws. Timeout here in Norman.
Big guys getting involved, Dave Fleming. First, Tayshaun Thomas, spin move, power move at the rim. And at the other end, Jamari Traylor, one of the unsung heroes for Bill Self down the stretch of the season, giving him some O in the painted area.
Dave Fleming, Fran Fraschilla back here in Norman, Oklahoma as the Big 12 regular season is wrapping up today across the conference, getting ready for that championship in Kansas City. Jayhawks have won the conference title outright, but such a deep league this year.
Hard to figure out who's going to finish anywhere from second down to 7th or 8th. It'll be determined later today, and it's just been an incredibly balanced league.
And you see how tightly bunched those teams are just behind the Jayhawks. Thomas at the line for 2, makes the first. I mean, there is something on the line for Oklahoma today. They can't win the conference title, but in terms of seeding in Kansas City, seeding in the NCAA tournament.
Well, you normally say we want to finish 2nd or 3rd to stay away from Kansas, but that may be true to a large degree. but it doesn't really matter this year. It really doesn't. Iowa State presents as many problems as Kansas does. Baylor has had a terrific year, so you just want to win your last game going into conference play, conference tournament play.
Mickelson, who gave the Jayhawks a real spark off the bench. I don't know what happened with that exchange. Cousins, too fast to the open court, and a foul.
Now you know Hunter Mickelson is going to chase him down because he is a shot blocker. But this kid, Isaiah Cousins, a remarkable transformation. Everybody talks about Buddy Hield nationally because nobody ever comes to Norman to watch this guy. One of the more underrated players in college basketball.
He's having a nice game. Leads the three-point play.
You know what you love about him? He's got that grit and toughness on the defensive end. The shooting ability. If Hield stays, and I have a feeling he will, this will be one of the great backcourts in college basketball next year.
They call Cousins for the reach-in foul, his first personal. Sort of feels like a danger time for the Jayhawks, down 7. Because you mentioned it, this Sooners team, they are explosive at home. They can go on runs.
And they were explosive at Allen Fieldhouse when they went on a great one. That high-low has been hurting Kansas all night long.
Yeah, Lucas, a tough catch, not an easy pass, but they get the bucket.
See, I think what you got to do when you're worried about the low post, your first post defender has got to be the passer at the high post. There's obviously not enough pressure on that pass right now.
Oubre stayed with Cousins, even with the hard screen. Woodard off the deflection, but Hield there to put it back in.
I thought that ball was going out of bounds. Good save. See, if they go back, or they're going to one game now, which will be their dribble handoff game into the pick and roll.
Graham.
Oh, tough shot.
Almost went down. Lucas has been everywhere on the glass, but finally Latin comes away with the ball. Extra pass, Hield. Good defense by Mason to get a hand in his face, but Cousins left open. Thomas working hard for the offensive rebound, and then he stepped out of bounds.
And Ron Kruger thought he got bumped out of bounds. He's letting Tom O'Neal know it. Ron Kruger's not a guy that usually loses his composure. Good effort by Thomas. You love the effort. There's the rebound. Couldn't tell. Did he step?
I could not tell from that look.
He stepped out. He's out.
Yeah.
I think Kruger was more worried about the bump, but I didn't see a foul there. See, when a coach like that gets unhappy, the next time Oklahoma gets the ball back, he needs to pound it inside. Officials are human. Even though they got the call right.
Yeah, they hear. And I think your point about Kruger usually doesn't do that. A ragged possession here for Kansas. Still time on the shot clock. And Jamari Traylor draws the foul. Latin did manage to challenge that one. Traylor goes to the free throw line.
That's his first 15 step.
We got some fiery coaches in the Big 12. Lon Kruger is one of the more genteel in terms of his sideline manner.
Belies how he was as a player. And also, he is a very, very competitive guy. He just doesn't rant and rave like other coaches do. Bill Self, to a large degree, same way.
Yeah. Bill
will lose his temper a little bit more, but it's usually by design. You know, let's talk about Jamari Traylor for a second, Dave. He redshirted with Ben McLemore the year that Kansas went to the Final Four. And he's a fourth-year junior. And he's one of those Kansas guys, everybody talks about the great one-and-dones, that he's going to end up having a very, very good 4 years, 5 years, and be productive.
Booker down the lane, tried to pass it away. Graham with the steal. Graham in transition. Blocked by Latin. What a play. And now Cousins blocked by Traylor.
How about Traylor? Just what we talked about. What a block by Latin as well. See, if you're going to catch that ball in the high post and not pressure him, this is fun. Look at that.
Mason, nifty ball handle.
You talk about change of direction behind the back. That was not French pastry. That was by design. He needed to do that.
Now a whistle, and there is the call. I think across the court, Trailer playing post defense.
Listen, this is by design. You have to put it behind your back here. Look at Woodard cut him off, and that's really slick by Frank Mason.
Mason will get what I would guess would be a short break on the bench.
Well, you see the 12:19 on the clock. That means he'll rest through the TV timeout. And probably, I bet he's back within the 12 to the 11-minute mark of the game. And may get a 4 or 5 minute break.
Well, they call Oubre for a reach-in. I thought he just hit the ball. They called a foul on him. It's his third personal.
Yeah, you remember what we said a couple minutes ago. Ron Kruger made a point to the officials. It's called posturing. John Thompson once said, when Louis Carnesecca and Willie Massimino do it, it's posturing. When I do it, it's intimidating.
He might have had a point. Cousins uses that behind the back dribble himself. And Oubre found a way to at least challenge that shot.
Hey, if Kansas takes the lead here in the next minute or so, they're going to put an awful lot of pressure on Oklahoma. Kansas playing with house money right now.
Oubre fouled by the Sooners. So Kelly Oubre, the shots haven't been going down, but he's done a lot of nice things. The shot blocking on both sides has been impressive.
No question. Watch the freshman, Kadeem Latin, doing it like his grandfather did. Big Daddy Latin from Texas Western fame.
To a 49-46 lead over Kansas. Fran, why don't you take us inside the play?
Well, this is what we talked about earlier. I was never comfortable coaching defense in the high-low and giving Hunter Mickelson this much room because he can just look over the defense. You've got to come out, high hands, pressure the ball, and make this a much more difficult pass. And we always say the first post defender is the man guarding the post feeder.
You know, it's funny, it's Mickelson to Lucas, not the names you're used to hearing with the Jayhawks. They're playing shorthanded today. That is the play, though, that in some ways has defined the Bill Self era. That high-low, the lobs, the backdoor, Mikhailuk misses on the three.
No question. And they really haven't scored as well. This will be the worst scoring team for Kansas under Bill Self inside the arc in his 12 years.
Yeah, it's just been more missing this year. Hield, nice look to Spangler, but Lucas recovered on defense. Here's Booker, that quick trigger. Hield with the offensive board, then they left him open. You cannot do that with Buddy Hield.
Bill Self just put his hands on his head. Landon Lucas, why are you leaving him? And that came off an offensive rebound.
So that was just an invitation.
See, again, they're going to go high-low right here. Use that ball screen.
Oubre down the lane, all the way to the bucket with a foul.
Oubre got by, snuck to the rim, but let's go back to Buddy Hield and watch him now. Little breakdown by Kansas. They get the offensive rebound. Watch Lucas. Instead of staying, he backs up, and then he realizes can't leave that guy. And this guy is, I call him Gumby. You know, he's the rubber band man. He's elastic. And when you add the effort he's added to his game since January 1, you see why he was a high school All-American.
I mean, you see all the tools. He has not finished particularly well here today. He's got 6 points. He has 2 of 6 from the field. He misses that free throw. Mason back in, and right around that time where you guessed he would come back in the game.
Yep, so he missed about a minute and a half of game time and got about a 5-minute rest. And that's by design. That's good coaching. Oh, boy.
Dangerous pass. Oubre was almost off to the races. Spangler couldn't get a shot off, even right under the basket. Booker In and out, rebound Lucas.
I love the Kansas defense right now, but that's not a good decision by Lucas.
Terrible outlet pass, and he's going to let Hield shoot it again. This time he got away with it. Hustling after the ball, the freshman Kadeem Latin.
How good has he been today? See, Booker, this is not Booker's game.
No. Graham got a hand on it. Great effort by Woodard to track down the ball. What a hustle on both sides. This is Booker's game. Whistle, foul. And now look out. Traylor and Spangler sort of staring each other down.
They're not going to do anything. Spangler's a big old country boy. You talk to Spangler, and he loves going against the Rico Gathers, the Cam Ridleys, the Jamari Traylors. It's fun. Look at that crowd. You know, Lon Kruger was out here about a half hour before the game, and this place has been, by and large, over the last decade, dead. The student body is starting to come around. There's another foul by Traylor.
Wow, that's 2 without any time going off the clock, and that'll be number 4 against him overall. Oh, that's a big, big whistle. It also puts Oklahoma in the bonus with still 9:51 to go. So that is a gigantic moment in this game. It puts the freshman Latin at the free throw line. He has hardly shot any free throws this year, so we'll see. Front end of the 1-and-1. He makes it.
Under 50% coming in. That actually puts him right at 50%. 8 of 16 on the season.
Got over the Mendoza line.
For those of us who love the game of baseball,
it's sort of the equivalent. If you're below 50% free throw shooting, it doesn't look good.
Let's tell people what that is. The Mendoza line is if you hit over 200.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're below the Mendoza line, you're hitting below 200, which is
not good. See, now watch it.
Mason against Hield. Trying to get by him. Good defense by Hield. Finally, Mason slipped through. And a whistle foul against Buddy Hield. Well, tonight we got more great college basketball for you. And it's in the ACC. Virginia, Louisville, and lots of storylines in that one. 6:30 Eastern, right here on ESPN. And then the nightcap, a rematch of what may be the game of the year so far in college hoops. Duke, Carolina, this time from Chapel Hill, 9 Eastern tonight.
North Carolina went into Cameron and won, and that should be a fun rematch. Virginia, Dave, if I'm not mistaken, 32-3 in ACC play in the last 2 years.
If you ask Joe Lunardi, projected 1 and 2 seeds, Kentucky is just locked into that #1 overall. But after that, there could be some movement here during championship week, I think.
I just got a chance to see Arizona last Saturday night. They've been impressive coming down the stretch.
They are hammering Stanford today in Tucson. Frank Mason makes the first of 2 free throws.
Been a good effort today by Kansas. Without Perry Ellis, Alexander, Brandon Green, wouldn't you say?
I would say. I doubt the Jayhawks can make it up to that #1 line, but if they win in Kansas City, they would at least have an argument, regular season and conference tournament champions in the Big 12.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be enough movement ahead of them to make that happen.
I'm with you. I don't think it can happen, but Hield, 1 dribble, 3 no good.
Quick shot. But again, this is how Oklahoma plays. They live and die with a lot of those jump shots.
Mickelson setting a lot of screens. Oubre all the way with the finger roll.
Where is the pick and roll defense? Excellent job of watch. Take a look now. There's no show on this. See, there it is. They were icing Oubre, which meant they didn't want him to get to the middle of the lane, so Spangler doesn't have to hedge. His job is to stay on the block, but once Oubre got over that screen and he beat Buddy Hield, see, that's not Latin's fault, but he does have 4. It's the defensive breakdown by Oklahoma in their pick and roll coverage.
Latin to the bench with 4 fouls. 1 more for Oubre. So Kelly Oubre completes that 3-point play. And it's a one-point game. Look at the Jayhawks without Ellis, without Alexander, without Green, with nothing to play for. The championship already locked up.
No Ginobili today. No Parker. The Big 12's probably going to find Kansas for resting their starters.
And yet here they are. Heel to Cousins. Pounded by Grant.
A lot of one-on-one right now.
Woodard fumbled the pass. Still got a shot off. Tayshaun Thomas put the ball down and Oubre ripped it away. Numbers for the Jayhawks. Oklahoma recovered though.
Boy, Kelly Oubre's been everywhere. He's open right now.
Instead they'll get Lucas on the low block. He scores over Spangler.
Well, this has been the formula all day for Kansas. They have pounded Oklahoma inside. Landon Lucas with a big jump hook.
The last lead for the Jayhawks was 4-3.
Now, Oklahoma's got 4 timeouts. They need to stem this tide here.
Woodard jump shot. Sooners back in front.
Maybe the best player to ever come out of Edmond Memorial High School up there in Edmond. But Bill Self wasn't bad either.
Yeah, he's going to argue that point with you. Man, it's loud.
Frank Mason's
found a way to get through that trap. Oubre open for 3.
How about that? Cha-ching. Cha-ching for this guy. He's not going to be back next year, but he's helping his stock.
Spangler answers. Great look from the star at Edmond Memorial. Tie game, under 7. Mason, kind of out of control. Here comes Oklahoma. He'll never put it on the floor, but then he missed the layup. And look who hustled back to grab that rebound.
Hill didn't have to double pump either.
This one won't be missed.
Okay, both teams are gassed.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that under 8 timeout.
Yeah,
and Bill Self didn't want to wait.
No, he didn't. Both teams are gassed. Bill Self stopped, put the brakes on.
Coming up next, Montrezl Harrell. This is a big one at the KFC Yum Center. Virginia, Louisville. Next on ESPN. Dave, Fran, back to you guys.
All right, Chris, thanks very much. So you mentioned that lead that Texas has. If the tournament started right now, this is what the Big 12 championship would look like. Kansas would await the winner of Texas, TCU, Oklahoma down in that 3 slot. But that could change if Texas hangs on. Look, it matters this game, that game in Austin. Iowa State plays a little bit later in Fort Worth against TCU to wrap up the regular season. All those results still could move those seeds around.
And the reason I circled that Oklahoma-Kansas State game is because Kansas State, the only team to beat Oklahoma here, barely got it in, and they didn't get it in. Little full court pressure was a surprise.
So that will be a turnover, and Oklahoma will have it when we come back to Norman, leading Kansas by 2.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots.
In 27 career games and has 8 points and 3 assists to his credit. The 2013-14 president of the OU Student Athlete Advisory Committee 2 weeks ago.
Well, it's senior day today here in Norman, and guess who was honored on the court with his dad, my partner Fran, alongside James Fraschilla.
Wow.
Who has been a part of this Sooners program and a big part of the program without a lot of playing time during games. We appreciate Meg sharing some family photos with us too.
Yeah,
those have got to make you feel pretty good. Come on.
She snuck that in there. I'm really proud of this guy. He busted his tail for 4 years, worked hard every day. Took a beating, as many walk-ons do. Great teammate. Academic all-conference. I tried to talk him out of coaching. I'm not going to be able to do it. But, you know, he's kind of emblematic of all the guys that show up every day, know they're not going to play much. And he really has been a great teammate, and these guys love him, and I know why.
That got me a little choked up. Tayshaun Thomas missed the shot, and a foul against Thomas. over the back, but well said by you, and congratulations to you, to Meg, to James, to Matt, his younger brother, who couldn't be here today because he's with his Harvard team.
Yep. No, it's been a fun day, and you know, it's fun for us. We're a part of this great league, and Oklahoma, one of those institutions. I think he's going to have a valuable degree coming out of here. That's what I've been told.
Yeah, very valuable. Front end of the 1-on-1. Hunter Mickelson has got a nice stroke. He makes his free throws.
Yep. This is great to see. This is exactly what this young man needed. There was a game against Georgetown in December where he played 13 seconds. Bill Self took him out. That's good hustle.
Thomas couldn't save it in bounds, so Lucas kept it alive, and because of that, the Jayhawks will keep the ball.
That was all Landon Lucas. Getting back to Mickelson, he played 13 seconds against Georgetown. Defensive breakdown, he got taken out, didn't get another chance. So good opportunity for him today, and this is a big possession for Kansas.
Well, Lucas almost just fell down with nobody guarding him. Sooners fans thought he traveled. No call. I think this guy with the ball, Devontae Graham, he's played pretty well today.
Well, the two point guards give them co-pilots. When one gets tired, the other guy can take you off the dribble. And that's what they're doing right now.
Not seeing a lot of Wayne Selden in the second half. He's not fully healthy and hasn't played real well. Graham, what a tough shot.
That's what we talked about. Now you got to worry about two guys that can get into the lane and make plays.
And those shooting numbers aren't pretty for Graham, but he's done a lot of good things. Thomas, long two, way off the mark.
Hey, Bill Self, he stepped out of bounds. Bill Self doesn't mind that jump shot by Thomas.
And Oubre should have just let that one go out of bounds.
Watch this, Dave. Now, when Mason gets a little bit fatigued, now you got Graham who can take you off the dribble, and that's what they've got. You know, I use this analogy. When you fly across the Atlantic, one pilot doesn't do all the work. He's got to rest, let the other guy take over. And that's what you have when you are comfortable with 2 point guards in your offense.
Thomas trying to screen for Hield, who hits a very tough three with a hand in his face.
Got to be careful if you're Kansas now. They've been great in guarding Buddy Hield, but you can't give him any open looks. And I got to tell you, he earned that one. That was not bad defense by Oubre. Can they shrink the floor? That's the goal here for Oklahoma.
Shot clock at 10. Mason swarmed. Found Graham. Pull up three. It hit the top of the backboard. So it's out of bounds.
Watch this now. Talk about confidence. Watch Oubre. He's good. He's on him. Watch him challenge. That's just a tough shot right there. You tip your cap, you move on. But you got to be concerned now because he can heat up in here. This is fun. This is Big 12 basketball. We've seen this every night, you know, every arena.
Mason got his hand on the ball and knocked it out of bounds. And if you thought Kansas, with their championship pedigree, was going to show up today with nothing on the line, with players out shorthanded, and just mail this one in, forget about it.
You do not know Bill Self the way we do.
Well, those are two of the guys missing, Ellis and Green. Cliff Alexander not even on the trip for the Jayhawks. Now a whistle and a timeout for Lon Kruger. So we'll keep it here with 4:20 to go, 63-61. And look, you and I have been in this conference all year long, and not just this year, but going back many years now. This has been particularly fun this season of Big 12 basketball. And I think you said it well. Every single day, it seems, we have a game that is not just competitive, but the arenas are rocking, the players playing at a high level.
Yeah, there's less bad teams in this league than there are in most conferences. And, you know, I get the whole idea about Kansas dominating the league and, you know, that's an embarrassment. That's nonsense, okay? Because Kansas doesn't win the league easily every year. In fact, 4 other teams have shared the tournament regular season championship with them. And when you look at the places they have to go and the way these teams compete every night, we didn't say there's a team that's going to win the national championship. All we've been saying all year is the balance, the home and homes, the competitiveness, the best in college basketball. The numbers back it up.
I mean, in those 11 years, they've had to beat Durant and Aldridge and Blake Griffin and Marcus Smart. and so many others. Shot clock winding down here. Woodard picked up the dribble. Hield has to heave one up, and Oubre blocked the shot. That was great defense again.
Absolutely, and that's been pretty much emblematic of Kansas's performance today. Oklahoma has this 2-point lead, but Kansas defense been excellent.
And the Jayhawks again a chance to tie or go back ahead.
Well, Oubre's defense has been somewhat subterranean this year, kind of underground. People don't really realize how good he is.
Well, it's above ground now because he's playing at a high level. Traylor back in with his 4 fouls.
Pick and rolls really bothered Kansas today.
Again, late shot clock situation. Mason pulls the trigger on a 3. It's a little too strong, and Traylor almost foul number 5. Instead, it's Hield off to the races. Now Traylor from behind got a block. I think they call the foul on Mason, though. We'll make sure of that when we come back. Timeout here in Norman. Don't go anywhere. We got an exciting finish still to come.
We're in studio. Just a reminder, less than a half hour away from tipping it up at the KFC Yum Center. It's Louisville and Virginia. Should be a good one in the ACC. That's coming up next here on ESPN. Dave, Fran?
All right, Chris, thanks. So that one should be a real good one, and this one has been. Kansas pounding the offensive glass in the first half. That sort of kept the Jayhawks in the game, Fran. In the second half, the shots have gone down.
That's right. So you say, well, why? What happened? One offensive rebound. Well, they're making more shots. There's less opportunities to clean up your own misses. But certainly that offensive rebound that kept Kansas in the game at halftime, because it looked like Oklahoma could blow this game open early.
They were shooting under 30%, the Jayhawks. They're without 3 of their best players. Their best player in Perry Ellis, who's not playing today. Hield is a very good free throw shooter, makes the first.
This is a guy that has made the Wooden list, the final list, 15. I suspect he'll be back next year. Some talk about him coming out, but he'll be one of the absolutely dominant players in the country next year if he returns. By the way, Big 12, if you look at the rosters, will be as good or better next year. So few guys leaving this league and so many guys coming into their own. Wait, you just watch.
Traylor attacking Thomas. Used a little shot fake very nicely.
How about that? You know what? He's going to tell Bill Self to start running some plays for him.
They never have.
But you saw him get 14 and 9 against West Virginia the other night.
Yeah, with some thunderous dunks and big-time plays down the stretch. Thomas rejected by Traylor, who's got the 4 fouls, did not commit one there.
That was a really good play on, because that would be a foul in most cases. Looked like a lot of contact.
He's hurting Traylor. He was slow to get up. Mason cut off by the defense.
Double penetration has hurt Oklahoma.
Mason, tough shot. Good rebound, Spangler.
Now, do you push it or do you settle for the great one? That's a quick shot.
Usually they push it if there's a choice. And they say off of Kansas. Wow. Now we're not quite under 2 minutes, so they can't look at that.
That's right. Watch Traylor now. They clear it out. This is a play. Holy smokes. That's an ISO play. They run for Perry Ellis. And then watch the block. That's good refereeing right there. Both defenders went vertical.
I think they've done a good job today. Cousins attacks and scores.
Well, refereeing is the only job where you're supposed to be perfect on day one and improve from there, you know. I think overall the officiating in the league by and large better than most.
Tough pass. Graham wide open 3. Goes down.
Yep. They gambled off the double team in the pick and roll. And Devontae Graham, the freshman, playing like a senior.
I don't care how short-handed they are. They're not going quietly today.
This is a great matchup right here.
Awesome. Hield against Oubre, who stays with him for now. Hield challenge. Spangler tip in.
Well, when you give up the penetration and you cause the rotations, that's where you're vulnerable.
Timeout, Kansas.
Watch Hield now. Good defense by Kansas. They're going to challenge. You see Lucas challenge, but no one seals Spangler off on the backside. All because of Hield's ability. And then there's Spangler. That's why he leads the conference in field goal percentage, because he shoots high percentage shots.
That one would count as high percentage.
I would say.
Sure. Well, tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, Championship Week presented by Dick's Sporting Goods rolls along. And on the women's side, Florida State, Notre Dame will be the championship game in the ACC. So that was not expected at 3:30. It's the women's SEC championship right here on ESPN. So two good ones.
Yeah, Sue Semrau at Florida State always does a good job. They're always in the tournament. Not really surprised. They had a good nucleus coming back.
Buddy Hield and company trying to finish off the Jayhawks. The game in Lawrence went down to the wire between these two. This one is coming down to the very end. Kansas has the ball. One timeout remaining for the Jayhawks. Oklahoma still has 3.
Now, I'm not sure. I don't think they'll go high-low here. If I'm Kansas, lots of dribble handoffs, get them in the pick and roll, and see if they can't make something happen off their dribble penetration. They go for 3.
For the tie, too strong. Long rebound. Oklahoma has it.
If you don't have numbers, pull it out. That's not a good decision by the sophomore Woodard.
Mason almost stole it away. Knocked it out of bounds. 1:04 to play. 31 on the shot clock. So Kansas still a one-possession game. They don't have to foul.
Now, Von Kruger collects timeouts like he does rare coins. He's got to have the ability to use one of those 3, and he'll stay right by the officials to make sure if there's any trouble, he can get a quick timeout.
In fact, he's going to use one before they even start to run their offense. So he'll use one of those 3 right here.
Now, he's a guy that doesn't like to burn timeouts during a game, and typically they'll have 3 or 4 in the final 2 minutes, and wisely he used one there.
Well, one thing, Fran, about this Big 12 conference as we get ready for the Big 12 championship in Kansas City is, look, this is a conference where maybe you have more home court advantage than any other league in the country. And yet we've seen some really impressive road performances of late. I mean, I think this one counts today from the Jayhawks.
Yeah, there's no question. In the last 10 years at Kansas, Bill Self has been 500 or better. They're only 4-4 in the Big 12 this year. So a loss would put him under 500 on the road for the first time since his first season in Lawrence.
And yet the Jayhawks have had some impressive performances away from home. Oklahoma, the record isn't great, but you think about the stretch against Kansas at Fogg, the stretch in the first half against Iowa State. I mean, it's in there. They have the ability to play well away from home.
Well, the reason Kansas is going to always be favored to start the season is because they're the only team again this year to go undefeated at home. Oklahoma gave one away to Kansas State. Iowa State lost to Baylor. It's a huge advantage, Allen Fieldhouse.
So out of the timeout, here come the Sooners. Not just taking away clock, not playing conservatively. There's number 5 against Traylor. Not happy about it.
Bill Self not happy about it. Let's take a look at that. Traylor was insistent that he did not foul. Thomas tried to draw the contact. Watch Thomas spin now. But I got him at the very end on the follow through. But, I know the Kansas fans thought that might have been a senior day foul, but followed through, still in the act of shooting. Good job by the official, Tom O'Neill.
One thing that was interesting about that, there was a lot of time still left on the shot clock. Oklahoma had the ball up 3, and Lon Kruger, I mean, he did not tell his team, hey, we just need to work some clock off.
He may have been thinking 2 for 1. Very, very few coaches in the late stages of a college game think that way.
Very few.
And now he's got 2 free throws, and he's likely he is going to get the possession back regardless of Kansas and what they accomplish on offense.
So these are big. Thomas on senior day makes the first of 2.
Now Booker's reporting in, so it's not going to surprise me if Oklahoma goes 4 small if Thomas makes this free throw.
Well, he didn't, and Kansas grabs a rebound, so Booker has to stay seated.
Unless they got a wide open 3, they're going to play for 2.
And Graham on the attack, missed the shot. Oubre missed the close one. Man, how did that not go in?
Now Kansas has to foul. Well, Kelly Oubre's been so good tonight, and so much of it has been his effort on the offensive glass. Watch him sneak in from the baseline. He comes up with it, and I guarantee you he'll make that shot 98 times out of 100. That's just bad luck right there.
Well, that obviously changes this game dramatically. Still 28.9 seconds to go. 2 free throws for Isaiah Cousins. They missed the first. And that helps.
Yeah, trust me, Dave, I watch a lot of basketball. Few are as prepared and prepare their team better than this situation than Bill Self. He's only got the one timeout left, but I've seen many Kansas practices where they play from behind like this. They know what they're doing.
Well, on Tuesday night at home, they were down, 8 with a minute 50 to go? Something like that.
Exhibit A.
Cousins makes that second one. Now Selden's going to come in, and Lucas will come out. So extra shooting on the court for the Jayhawks. We'll see how quickly Kansas can get a look.
And whether they may be in three-point, needing a 3 range here.
Mason's going to attack and draw a foul.
Okay, so you see they know what they're doing. They want the quick 2, and now they get to use the free throws to set up their press.
NBA tomorrow on ABC. You got the Bulls with Noah. You got the Spurs with Parker. You got Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Clippers, Warriors at 3:30. That doubleheader on ABC tomorrow.
What did we say today? Perry Ellis, right? He's kind of like Manu Ginobili, Parker, resting. You know, we talked to him last night at the hotel, and I said, Perry, if this was the Big 12 title game, could you play? He said, he made a face like, yeah, of course. But they've got everything clinched. He had the knee sprain, and I know we'll see him in Kansas City.
I mean, it was scary on Tuesday night. He disappeared. We didn't see him at halftime. We didn't see him for most of the second half. So that's big news for the Jayhawks. Mason, those were big. Made them both. Back to a 1-possession game. Kansas put the trap on, but Hield and company get away from it. Now Hield stumbled and lost the ball.
How about that?
And Bill Self, still with 1 timeout, can draw something up with 14.9 seconds to go. A 3-pointer would tie this game.
Watch Mikhailuk. He's going to pressure the ball. He's not going to foul, but he forces the spin, and then Buddy Hield just falls down. And hey, give Mikhailuk credit. This kid has had 9 DNPs, did not play in 17 games coming into today. And he's given Bill Self some effort down the stretch.
Well, one thing I like to see when it's a 1-possession game like that, if there's some time, if you have a little bit of a cushion. Now with 5 seconds to go, you have no choice. You got to foul right away. If you have a little cushion, too many teams foul so quickly they don't give the other team a chance to cough the ball up.
When what did we say about Bill Self in the preparation, right? The late game, you don't see if you can pressure. And Hield just, that was an unforced turnover.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good example of that preparation. Now Lon Kruger trying to get his kids ready to play defense.
Now you're really in a, this is going to be interesting because you have enough time where you're going to take the ball out where you don't need the 3 here. You know, if you get the quick 2, that's okay too.
Kansas has been real good in close games.
But Dave, we also know Kansas has a play called the chop play.
Yep. Everybody
in America, every high school coach in America knows the chop play now. It's got multiple opportunities for a 3-point shot. If you're Oklahoma, excuse me, are you prepared for it?
Because we're going to see it, you got to think.
We may see it. But I guarantee you Bill Self has more than one of these kind of plays.
Well, Selden will be the inbounder, playing with a bad ankle. Been a long day for him.
Now, do you give the foul?
That's another question.
See, I'd give it right there.
And they did.
Okay.
And I think Bill Self is okay with that. Look, 9.4 seconds is a long time. Some teams don't want to use that foul. With this, they want to wait till maybe 7, 6 seconds, somewhere in that range.
Well, here's what's going to happen right now. Because Oklahoma fouled like they did, If Mason makes these two, they're still going to press Oklahoma and then foul with time to get the ball up the floor. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Now, the key here is it's a 1-and-1. So Mason, these are huge free throws. If Kansas wants a decent chance at this one, you figure he's got to make these. Some confusion about, I guess, who the shooter is. Now, Oklahoma maybe was arguing it shouldn't be Mason.
Well, there was a dribble handoff to start that play when the foul was committed.
So you are allowed to use the monitor in that kind of situation if there is confusion about who a free throw shooter should be. Yeah, I mean, the whistle blew before Cousins fouled Selden.
They got it because you got Mason. It's about 78%, 79%. Selden in the mid-60s. So they got it right.
And Mason wants to shoot these. He went right to the line and got ready to go. Front end.
For Oklahoma now, you must get a block out here. They did not do that in Allen Fieldhouse. Doesn't matter right now.
But that's a good point.
Yep. Kelly Oubre with a huge offensive rebound tip out.
Kansas is out of timeouts. 9.4 seconds to go. One more coming for Mason, who's played really well. He made them both. It's a one-point game. So now the Sooners, against pressure, they do get it in, and that foul, the whistle blows with 7.4 seconds. It'll be a very good free throw shooter, Jordan Woodard, to go to the line for Oklahoma.
Exactly, and you talk about a kid who not only shoots 83% from the line, but 3 state championship games at Edmond Memorial, 2 state championships, has always thrived under pressure, and by and large in his short career, 2 years, excellent at the free throw line.
I could be mistaken, but I think Bill Self was reminding Mason and Graham. I'll wait to make the point until after this first free throw. It's good.
I would just say this, Dave, if they go up 3, Oklahoma will foul again.
Yeah. And I think that's what Bill Self was saying. You can attack really fast if they're looking to foul you. That one goes down, and now a substitution. So Booker comes in for Thomas.
Right, they go small, plus they stop the clock.
Yeah. And now Lon Kruger, he's got those 2 timeouts. Kruger will use one of them here. Mason and Cousins sort of staring each other down as the teams walk back toward their huddles. 7.4 seconds to go. Oklahoma with those 2 free throw makes back up by 3. Time for our 6th man of the game, brought to you by Motel 6. We'll give it to the students today.
Well, they've been great, and we mentioned earlier, Lon Kruger has really done a good job of cultivating the student body. You know, there's still a lot of work to be done, but we saw them. They were here early. He gave out, and he and Joe Castiglione, the athletic director, were here early giving out Cane's chicken today to a lot of the students that got here early. So there he is.
Yeah, that's what Fran was talking about before the game. Lon made a point of coming out of the locker room to interact with those students, thank them for being here. And they've been loud. They made this a really fun atmosphere in a game where technically there's nothing on the line. This is the final regular season game. But don't tell that to these 2 teams.
No, exactly. So now you're going to foul Kansas. Kansas is going to go to the line. And then we're likely to see 1 make and potentially a miss with the opportunity to get the offensive rebound.
Yeah, see how quickly Oklahoma gets that foul on. That could determine some of that.
Oh, I like this. They're going to go quickly and score. Look at this.
Mason, and he got fouled. And I think that's the right call. He's going to the line with a chance to tie this game.
Let me tell you what was so great about this play. When you use UB Brown's home run play, which is what this is the home run play, nobody knows how to recover back to their man, and Cousins fouls. This is genius, because if you dribble the ball up the floor, Oklahoma will give the foul on the way up. But because you throw it length of the floor, you put Oklahoma in a very tough spot. That, my friend, is coaching.
perfect. Man, has he been cool under pressure in this game. He's got 2 more to come.
Now remember, Oklahoma's got to do a couple things here, Dave. Let's make sure that Mason makes this next one. Okay, those are pure. If this ball goes through, if you're Oklahoma, you want to push this ball as quickly as you can, length of the floor.
Yeah.
Kansas will not foul you unless they make a mistake.
Well, Oklahoma, Lon Kruger is going to use that final timeout and get his team organized. And do you like using the timeout now before the final free throw as opposed to waiting to see what happens?
Well, I would definitely not have called the timeout after the 3rd one. I would have got it in quick.
Yeah.
What Lon Kruger's doing right now is he's going to make sure he emphasizes that they must get the missed shot and the defensive rebound. But then he's also emphasizing, let's get the ball in quickly. 5 seconds, as you've heard me say many times, as you see Barb Kruger right there, 5 seconds means at least 5 dribbles or 4 dribbles and a pass. Okay, so I would get it in quickly and attack. If you're Kansas, the danger for Bill Self is he's saying do not foul, but get back to the lane and slow the ball down.
Yeah, it's a fine line. If the game is indeed tied, we have 1 more free throw coming. And just to sort of reset what's going on here in these last couple of minutes, Kansas has been hanging around, but this was the inbound play.
Now watch, because it's the length of the floor, everybody's stunned, and that's just the UB Brown home run play. It's catch to the big guy, and watch, just a little hook and ladder right here to Frank Mason. So you have no opportunity to foul Frank Mason until he catches it in the scoring area, and then you do not want to foul him. And that's exactly what Oklahoma did.
And nobody was around Lucas. You couldn't get the foul on the guy who caught the pass before he gave it up to Mason. That was just beautifully done. That was a great play.
Absolutely. You will not see anybody do that this season in college basketball. That hook and ladder home run play.
So here we go. 1 more free throw to tie the game with 5 seconds left. He made them all. He's tied his career high. And now Oubre will sub in. So Bill Self did what Kruger did a moment ago.
Exactly. Now it's going to be in Jordan Woodard's hands. See, I wouldn't even ball screen here. And they are going to do it, but just get to the rim.
Woodard flips one up. The tip. It's good. Buddy Hield. Game. They have to look at it to confirm, but Buddy knows that one's going to count.
Yeah, and you know what? They set a ball screen. Lon Kruger, that's why he's taken 5 teams to the NCAA tournament. Watch the ball screen. This does free Woodard, and then watch Buddy Hield because they have to collapse on the ball. Hield gets the tip in. They're going to count it, and this has been an incredible game. My hat's off to Kansas, Dave. They are true champions.
Now, I don't know what's going on here because we thought we got word that it was officially final, but they're saying,
well, here's what might
maybe
have
they're
happened.
saying that there's time left on the clock.
If the ball goes through the net before the 000s, the ball is dead, which means Kansas may have another chance to pull a rabbit out of their hats.
Well, I think that has to be what's going on. The basket definitely counts. Yeah. Let's see if we can see when that ball goes through the net.
All the way through the net, out of the net.
Okay, still a little time. And still
right there, so it's .2. Now, we know this, okay? The only way Kansas can score is a tip-in at the basket, which means they have to throw, by rule, .3 or under must be a tip-in. Cannot be a catch and shoot. So here's what's going to happen. It's going to be a miracle. You must throw the ball 94 feet to the rim, and you're hoping for a miraculous tip. But let me tell you, more importantly, you're looking for a foul.
Yeah.
If you're Oklahoma right now, You cannot foul.
Well, it was Wayne Selden who made the pass on the previous sort of home run kind of play. So you got to think Wayne's going to be the passer once again, and it will be.
I predict that in October they put every player on the baseline to see who could make this pass, and that's why this guy has been chosen.
Heald's going to try to pressure Selden, and now it's over. Celebration part 2 here in Norman. What a game and what a win for Oklahoma. For Fran Fraschilla and our great crew, so long here from Norman. Final score in dramatic fashion. Great way to end the Big 12 season for these two teams.
We'll see each other in Kansas City, baby.
Just a few days from now. 75-73, Oklahoma wins. Now off to Chapel Hill, North Carolina for College Game Day.